Yes, welcome everyone. Let's take 1 minute to get everyone in and then we will start. All right, I think we already started. I see some people coming in. So, wait 1 sec. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We are very glad to see so many marketing professionals attending. Today, we will dive into a use case that explores the world of brand bidding, a strategy that can be challenging but rewarding when done right. So, whether you are a seasoned user of Channable or you are just starting to learn about it, we are very delighted to have you here today. So, first, let me introduce myself. My name is Joost de Jong, Senior Customer Success Manager at Channable. And for those who are new here, Channable is a very powerful tool that helps you manage, optimize, and expand your online advertising campaigns. Using Channable, you can control your data feed, automate your PPC campaigns, set up your marketplaces, and much more. We will cover a part of these topics during today's use case. As you may already know and have seen on social media, maybe, today we have Guy Schepers with us. He's in charge of all things related to paid advertising at Fingerspitz. Thank you for joining us today, Guy.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are very fortunate to partner up with agencies like Fingerspitz. So their innovative approach constantly pushes the boundaries of online marketing and automation, such as we will see today in this use case. Today's talk is the second in our agency story series. Sorry, we're building a community here. This is a place where we can learn from digital marketing agencies such as Fingerspitz. And as Channable, we are very happy to facilitate this platform for knowledge sharing and collaborative learning. Also, we'd love to get to know your interests so we can tailor this also to your needs for our upcoming webinars. So first, we will have a quick poll to help us understand the areas that you are interested in, of course, in the domain of digital marketing and e-commerce. So we will take 1 minute to answer the poll. And it's also possible to give multiple answers. So feel free to fill in everything you're interested in. And as well, if you have other interested topics, please feel free to also put it in the chat. Then we will definitely have your request over there. So in this episode of our agency stories, we are highlighting a project where Fingerspitz and Cortina collaborated. You learn about the powerful strategies that they used, how they managed to balance their spending on ads, and how they overcame challenges to achieve success. Following Guy's presentations of the case, we'll open the floor for your questions, which you can submit in the questions tab you can see in your screen on the right side next to the chat. You can also upvote for any questions posed by other participants that you find interesting. So before we go to the use case and we start talking about the brand bidding case, let's talk about a new report that we just launched. It's the state of e-commerce for digital marketing agencies. As we all know, e-commerce keeps on changing, and knowing how to use right platforms for your brand is very important. This report provides you with some useful knowledge and also helps you to make good decisions for your business. The report is full of information to help you understand e-commerce. For example, we talk about why it's important to have your campaigns in one place and collect first-hand data. This can help you see which campaigns work, and improve also your performance. We also talk about how to choose marketing channels wisely, how feed management platforms can help you improve your campaigns and collect data, and to give some useful advice to help you prepare for Q4 and reduce the stress at the end of the year. After this webinar, we invite you to read this report and to learn more. So keep an eye on your inbox. We will send it to you along with, of course, the recording of this webinar. So now it's time to dive into the case study. Thank you all for attending. Guy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. What a beautiful, beautiful presentation of your end. Let's introduce myself first. My name is Guy Schepers. I'm head of paid at Fingerspitz. Fingerspitz is an online marketing agency in the Netherlands, based in Breda and Eindhoven. And we work for beautiful clients, and we work together with Channable a lot. I will come back into that a little bit later. But we have some beautiful clients, and one of those clients is Cortina, and that's what we're going to talk about today. As Joe said, you can ask as many questions as you like. I will answer them at the end. But feel free to ask. So let's dive in. Starting with, what is Cortina? What kind of brand? Cortina is a bicycle brand, and they develop bikes for school, work, and family life. Their audiences are mainly young people between the 16 and 30, and they have e-bikes and just regular bikes. We work with Cortina quite a time, and that's going great. A little bit too great, actually, because with the marketing performance going well, the brand awareness is rising as well. And now I can hear you think, okay, how can marketing going to be too well? That's the main goal, right? Well, with the brand awareness rising, which is now about 60%, also the amount of branded search in Google are rising. And because our visibility of branded paid was really high, also the spend was rising. And as you can see, the end is still not in sight. We're still growing every year. So we had to make make a decision, because we got a question. Okay, should we even advertise on our own brand name? Can people find us no matter what? They go to our website directly. Maybe they find us in organic positions. So we started with finding a solution for that. Before we dive into the way we did that, first some facts, how we started. First of all, the brand spend of Cortina was about 80%, 78% of the total spend, total marketing spend for Cortina per year. So it's about 60,000 euros, which is a lot, because there wasn't any more money for prospecting left over. Also, the branded CPCs are rising, and I think we have a lot of PPC professionals over here. I think this is a trend you are all familiar with. If you look back into a couple of years ago, you will find the same search term with probably the same visibility, but with a higher CPC. For Cortina, the branded CPCs were 10 times higher compared to 2020, with the same visibility. We also looked at the conversions, of course. I mean, that is the most important. And we saw that paid branded search was responsible for 40% of all last click conversions, which is quite high, but all, yeah, it's quite high. After that, we looked at organic positions and we saw that Cortina was ranking just 29% of all times at number 1 for branded search terms. And that was is a little bit low actually, but has a logical explanation. Because Cortina has a difficulty of finding the ideal position between being a brand and being a manufacturer. They sell bikes, of course, and you can sell a bicycle directly on Cortina bikes, but they also are a manufacturer for resellers. They have around 200 resellers in the Netherlands, I believe, and some of them are quite active online as well. So looking at the auction insight, we saw 7 active competitors in paid search, which is quite high, certainly knowing that the organic positions weren't that great. So what was our goal? The goal when we asked ourselves the question was saving 20% of the branded campaign spend, which was 12,000 euros, to reallocate that money to prospecting campaigns and share our market share, grow our market share even more. And we would like to do that by finding the ideal mix between branded SEA and SEO. And with everything going on, and we would love to make that to do that fully automated. So yeah, then the first part that we thought about was Channable, of course. Some KPIs. We started with thinking about some KPIs. Which KPIs are we going to use to make sure we achieve our goal? And after some thinking, we thought, okay, is there even one specific KPI which is perfect for this situation? And we thought, no, not actually not. So we invented our own, which is the Google Ads equivalent value. Myself, I haven't heard it before. I'm going to talk in the next slide what it is. But next to the Google Ads equivalent value, we also looked at the branded traffic share, which is the Google organic and CPC combined, the paid CPC, and also the overall CPC, the total branded traffic, the total branded cost, and the total branded conversions. But I think you all want to know, okay, Google Ads equivalent value, it sounds nice. What is that exactly? And the Google Ads equivalent value is simply what would be the CPC for an organic click if the click were coming from paid SEA, paid PPC. So if we make a calculation about this, when Cortina bike, the search term, if the paid CPC would be €1 and we received 10 organic clicks, then Google Ads equivalent value would be €10. And this is really important to understand because with this KPI, we were able to gain information about the value of the rising organic clicks. And if that value would be the same as the decrease of paid cost, that will give us some information about the relevance of the organic traffic. I will show you in a few slides how that looked in the dashboard. But that wasn't the only KPI we were looking at. We were also looking at the total market share and the traffic share. And this is really simple. For example, if we have 100 possible impressions, SEA and SEO combined, and we see, okay, we have 10 clicks, then the traffic share would be 10%. So if we lose 2 Google Ads clicks, but we gain 2 organic clicks, the traffic share would still be the same. So, situation A was before, B was the second one. We deleted the Google Ads, and that's it. Ta-da! We are ready. Cortina happy, everybody happy. But I think you all know that that wasn't the case, because that would be really easy. So let's dive into how we actually did it. And I want to share this this image with you, because this really shows great how which steps we took to get this result. And we start with the SEO optimizations, because this is maybe a paid case, paid PPC case, but it actually starts all with organic positions, which are just 29% of the #1 rankings. So we started with the organic optimizations, and we asked ourselves, okay, do we rank organically or not? If not, we started with organic optimizations, of course. If yes, we were looking at if it was a branded term or not. As simple as this is, we wanted to do this fully automated, and that was the tricky part of this, because it was hard to extract this information and make it completely usable in Google Ads. And we were looking for some tools to help us with this, and we came up with Advertise. And Advertise is a data management platform which allows us to extract data from one position to one tool to another. For example, we can extract Google Ads data and push them into BigQuery or Data Studio, and combine them together, which was really helpful in this case. Because how did we use Advertise in this case? We actually made 2 solutions with Advertise. The first one was extracting the branded search terms from Google Search Console, together with the position, the page they are ranking, and the query. And we pushed that into a Google spreadsheet, which after that we were able to upload that one into Channable. That was solution 1. Solution 2 was for dashboarding reasons, and we there combined it, Google Search Console data together with Google Ads data, and we pushed that towards BigQuery, from where we could make a Data Studio dashboard. So solution 1 was what I said, extracting the queries from Google Search Console together with the position, and we pushed that towards Channable. And when it was in Channable, we first had to make some changes to make sure everything was usable. So we started with extracting all the non-branded terms, because we were just interested in the branded terms. So we extracted, of course, Cortina, but also any specific model, bike model, and we all deleted that from the field, from the feed. And we used master rules for that, because we were making use of multiple generators, and we didn't want to copy paste every rule. So there the master rules came in handy. The second thing we found out was that we had to deduplicate multiple search terms. Some terms ranked twice on the site. One time at position 2 and another time on position 50. But we just wanted to work with the best organic position. So to duplicate, we thought, okay, let's just keep the lowest position, which is actually the best position to work with. Now, we found out that there were 52 relevant branded terms, and after that, we saw, okay, but are all those terms actually needed? And that's why we used an n-gram script, an n-gram analyze. And an n-gram analyze is a technique that allows us to analyze the pattern of words or word combinations. And we combine that with conversion data, which every search query, and that allows us to found the most irrelevant terms in that branded search terms. So we made a list of that, and we again used the master rules, and we saw some in Dutch. You can see here some irrelevant terms. Some were really logical, but a lot of them were terms we wouldn't have thought about at the before. So we cleaned all the data in Channable, and here is where the Channable PPC tooling comes in. We make at Fingerspitz, we make a lot of use of the PPC tooling, of course for Google Ads, but Channable is a beautiful tool to push product data towards Facebook as well, and of course the marketplaces. And this was just a typical example of how we really how we make use of Channable really good. Back to the case, because that's where you guys interesting in. So what did he do? We created 10 generators based on that organic positions. So when the organic position of a specific search query was position 1, we put that one in one specific campaign, but also for organic position 4, 5, 6, and as well. We made a split at position 10 because then the specific search query would be in on the second landing page of Google. So actually, this is the specific rule we used to make the split, which was quite easy. We just looked, okay, is the position greater than 3 or smaller than 1.9? Okay, then the organic position had to be 2. And this is the average organic position. So if a position, the beautiful part of this was that if an organic position went better and changed from 4th to the 2nd position, then the PPC tooling made this shift automatically, which was really easy and handy. Some little facts. We made specific ad groups for each search query. This allowed us to make some bidding rules in Google Ads, which was a lot more easier when we had just one ad group for every search query. And now we pushed that towards Channable. In Channable, we saw 10 campaigns with a lot of ad groups, and there the most exciting part started actually, because we started with our automated bidding management, which
Naar
is
Channable te pushen, waren we in staat om per organische positie 1 campagne te maken. 10 dynamische campagnes waren uiteindelijk het resultaat. Daarna werd het echt interessant. We gingen zichtbaarheid inleveren voor de termen waar we organisch goed op scoorden en boden extra voor de termen waar we minder scoorden.
So what you can imagine is that if the organic position is better, that the visibility of the paid search query can be a little bit less, because the CTR of the highest organic positions is a lot higher than the position 9 or 8. So we started testing with that, and in the end we looked at it and we saw, okay, we can decrease the visibility of the search queries with organic position 1 to 5 and to lower the impression share over there, but increase the visibility of the organic positions with 6 to 10. And by doing this, we saw some really nice results, because when lowering the impression share, we saw the CPCs decreasing, but also we saw less paid clicks. So we save money at 2 different ways, which made sure that the cost decreasing. By doing this, by losing some paid clicks, we saw more organic clicks gaining, which gave us a higher Google Ads equivalent value. And again, the Google Ads equivalent value is the amount, the CPC amount you would have paid in paid advertisement if you advertise on that specific search term. And we found that CPC by connecting the advertising stream with Google Ads and Search Console. That was for position 1 to 5. For position 6 to 10, we actually increased our bidding. So we saw more paid clicks and a higher CPC with an increasing of cost. But in the end, this wasn't compared with the position 1 to 5 a small amount. To make sure that we didn't saw a decrease of performance, we looked at our dashboarding quite regularly, quite some time, and this really gave us some good insights and also some fast insights if the case was heading the good way or not. So at a certain point, we found out that we were losing our sweet spot. So we were decreasing too much, and we saw that our Google Ads equivalence value wasn't as high as the spend was decreasing. So by doing this, we could say, okay, this is enough. This is the sweet spot of the visibility. So the results at the end, we saw a decrease of 20% in paid clicks, a decrease of 26% in CPC, and an increase of 107% of Google Ads equivalent value, which led to saving 64% of the brand spend, which was 73,000 euros, which made an uplift of 221% in non-branded budget possible. And this specific case was about 1.5 months. Cost breakdown. What were our fees? About 3,000 euros. The media spend was saving about 37. So the return on agency, the amount that Cortina paid us, and what the return was about 12 euros. Which actually makes us come to the end of this presentation. So I think I'm going to look at Joost. That I think there were some questions. So just let's go to the questions. If you think, okay, my question, I have more questions, I don't have time to listen to them, you can always follow me on LinkedIn and ask me more questions later. And I take all the time to answer that as well. But I think there are some questions. So Joost, tell me.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Guy, and really insightful. Very nice, nice presentations. We will begin the Q&A session now. Yeah, you can still post one in the questions tab if you have one. Also, I have a few questions for Guy before we go to the Q&A by the public. So, Guy, if you had to advise companies aiming to reduce ad spend, also while maintaining their traffic, what would you advise other marketeers that want to implement a similar strategy? Yeah, to start.
Yeah, I think the most important part of this case and this is to make sure you have all the right data at the right spot. If you don't have the right data, you can make then it is really hard to start, but it's also really hard to say if you're going towards the good way, or that maybe the results are decreasing. So I think it's important to start with the gathering the right data.
All right, thank you very much. Let me dive real quick into the questions from the audience. And I see that the question by Michiel is upvoted a lot. So here comes the question. Even if you are in organic position 1, there can still be 4 competitors above your organic results. Don't you need to incorporate that somewhere?
Yeah. It is, and that is exactly the question we were heading at the beginning, and that's why we were looked at the Google Ads equivalent a lot, because our hypothesis was, okay, if if there are some paid competitors above us in the organic position, does the Google consumer still find out that the official site of Cortina is upfront, and by using the Google Ads equivalent value, we made sure that the amount of consumers we lose, we didn't lose them in organic.
All right, thank you very much. Then I see there's a question from Tiago as well. What's the difference between using Advertise and connecting Google Search Console to Google Ads?
Again?
What's the difference between using Advertise and connecting Google Search Console to Google Ads?
Yeah, okay. So I think Tiago is meaning to upload the Google Search Console into Google Ads, where you can see the amount of impressions in Google Ads interface itself. Now there actually isn't a lot of difference, but it made us a lot easier to make the feed dynamically, and also combine them into BigQuery, where we were able to make a dashboard. But I think actually if you make this report in Google Ads, you could get the same result. So that would be a possibility as well.
Thank you. So let me check. Also, one from Steven that got a lot of upvote, and I think is also very relevant. What bidding strategy did you guys go with in Google Ads to achieve this? Did you achieve this through manual CPC or another automated bidding strategy?
Manual. Really easy.
So maybe can you also explain the audience why you chose manual?
Yeah, of course. If you choose for manual CPC bidding, you have a lot more control of the visibility you're actually gaining. I think the other variant would be the impression share bidding, but you don't have as much as control of your CPC when just using manual CPC bidding. So that was the reason.
Perfect. Let me check. From Isabel, there was also a question. What about conversion data? Isn't that the most relevant from a business perspective? So why did you think of, we saw some KPIs in the beginning, but was there also conversions in there or conversion data? Can you maybe tell something about this to the audience?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because that is the most important. So yeah, we looked into that, and we saw no decrease of conversions. So we looked into that as well. But I don't think that is the main aspect that made this case as good as it is. So that's why I didn't mention it. But to be honest, the last click conversions were at the same level.
All right.
And the difficult part about that was that this isn't an HB test. So certainly with bikes, the seasonality is a little bit tricky. So it's hard to make a hard conclusion on just conversion data. And I think Google Ads equivalent value was a better KPI to define if the case was successful or not. So that's also a reason.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you very much, and hopefully, the questions answered are as well as the as everyone. As the question who asked the question also intended it. So let me check, because we also have one question still. Are there any specific factors that you should consider before setting up a strategy like this?
Yes. For Cortina, the case was that the rankings of organic was not as normal. So we have some resellers. So the organic search queries were sometimes on position 4, sometimes position 5. And that's the reason why we started with doing this fully automated, and we generated multiple generators. But if your client or the business you work at just ranks at every search query at position 1, you don't need to do everything fully automated. Then it can be a lot more easier. And yeah, I think that's the most important one. So look at the competitors and look at your organic positions, and wondering yourself, is it worth the work?
All right, thank you. So let's move on to the last question, and that's this question was from Brit. how do you determine the Google Ads equivalent value? How much would you have paid for an organic click?
Good question, actually, because this was a really hard question for us as well. And because you have two options. You have the option of, okay, we make use of the CPC we paid before we started with this use case, and use that as an use that data. But because we were always visible on the search queries where we decreased our visibility, so we still had the CPC data, and so we made use of the real-time CPC data on that moment, which made it a little bit more difficult for us to make sure that we made use of the real-time CPC bidding. I think that's the most important question, and the best answer.
All right, thank you very much. So that was the last question of today. So thank you very much, Guy, for the presentation. So if you found today's webinar interesting, we also encourage you to learn more about Channable. Visit our website, check out our resources, and see also how Channable can help you with your marketing, just like it did for Cortina, of course. And lastly, feel free to share what you learned today with your colleagues or friends, or you can also share the link of the webinar recording, of course, which we will provide you after today. So as we finish our discussion about the Fingerspitz and Cortina project, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We hope that today's talk has given you some new ideas also for your own branding campaigns. And I, of course, want to say a big thank you to Guy from Fingerspitz for sharing this interesting use case with us. And we are looking forward to see everyone at one of our next webinars. So thank you, and have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.